Greetings, everyone, and welcome once again to yet another edition of the Urban Algorithm on the Our World Media Network. Another beautiful Saturday here in New York. I'm your host, Wayne Gilman, and pleased and honored to be here once again with all this going on in the world, and we're trying to keep you abreast of at least our perspective of what's happening. It's been a hell of a week. Politically speaking, we've had congressional hearings on the January 6th insurrection, massive demonstrations that continue to this hour in Texas and in West Virginia over voter suppression and things like that. Donald Trump, our previous president, number 45, has been caught with his hand in the cookie jar. There's been enough evidence now showing that he had called upon some officials at the Department of Justice to come out and say that basically the election was corrupt. He wanted them to carry that tune as he has been doing since his, I shouldn't say removal from office, it should have been removed, but since he lost the election and all that, he's been campaigning, trying to keep the lie going, and that's something else that we're going to talk about. But most importantly right now, I'm honored and pleased to have my former colleague back in the day at WBLS and WLIB, former broadcasting, or I should say retired broadcasting executive Reggie Thomas, and my personal political pundit. He's on the screen with us again this week. And we're going to go into the latest ruling from the CDC that came out yesterday or the day before with regard to the advice that the organization has been giving Americans on combating this variant strain of the COVID virus. And Reggie, I think we're going to start with that because you're actually in ground zero. The state of Florida, I understand, has the worst of the numbers of infections in that state because of, I'm assuming a lot of it has to do that there are many Floridians who have not been vaccinated. But I think there are 14 states, most of them in the South, are struggling with this sudden outbreak. Welcome.
Yeah, you got, that's no surprise. You got one of the worst governors in the country.
Oh, please.
Who wants to go against the science, and now it's coming back to bite folks. We never had a mask mandate in the state. The state was never really locked down. Businesses shut down, but the state was never really locked down. Now here in the last couple of days, Disney has mandated that, number one, you have to get the certain people that work for Disney have to be vaccinated by a certain date. I think it's sometime during this fall. They absolutely have to be vaccinated if they want to keep their jobs. Starting today, if you are in any Disney facility, the monorail, the trams, any of their buildings, the bathrooms, restaurants, unless you're actively eating, you have to wear a mask, regardless of vaccination or not.
It's interesting that and this is a Disney edict. This is not something coming from the government, the state government.
No. And here's the thing. Disney has made this mandate, and you don't hear DeSantis fighting them.
Well, he knows what the deal is.
The schools want to mandate. Some of the schools want to mandate masks for the kids and the teachers. And he wants to fight that. As a matter of fact, he just signed an executive order yesterday, making it so that schools cannot override the anti or the ban on mask mandates. Now, Val Demings, Congresswoman Val Demings' husband, is the mayor of Orange County, which includes Orlando and Disney and Universal. And he has issued a mask requirement, but he also is requiring that if you work for the county, you got to get vaccinated by a certain date. So DeSantis He's going against that, and he wants to fight all of that, and he wants to put his mask mandates in. I can't wait till election time. This is getting crazy, and the thing is that here in Florida, you got people walking around like the pandemic never took place. And so one of the things you got to be very, very careful of is that you can be talking to someone and they're just like talking to you like it's normal and talking in your face, and then you
Mhm.
find out that they never went and got vaccinated, and they're not interested in it.
And that's what puzzles me because, all right, it's been politicized to a certain extent. I know we talked about this last week, but there's some in our own community for a variety of reasons. And there are people on the left, the extreme left of, if we're middle or middle left of that, that feel the same way that, it didn't have to be a pandemic. They're against any kind of vaccination, the flu, you name it, they don't want it. And the deal is, it just
Well,
seems like the evidence has been out there that the only way we're going to conquer this problem, is by getting everybody an injection, paying them to get an injection in
well,
some instances.
one of the ships started sailing. I can't name which one. Mardi Gras
Hmm.
sailed today, or is sailing today, and they showed the terminal with all the people excited, and they weren't masked. Now, DeSantis didn't want there to be vaccine passports on the ship sailing out of Florida, and he put together an executive order that for every uh, passport, vaccine passport request that the cruise lines made, it was a $5,000 fine per occurrence.
Mm.
And he got really angry to the CDC to let cruise ships, because CDC didn't want ships going out. So one of the things you got to remember about DeSantis is when the pandemic took off last year, and there were all these people sick on the cruise line, he wouldn't let them dock.
Right.
And I remember there were people on there who desperately needed to get to the hospital. There was a gentleman and his wife that were on a cruise, and they were in their 70s or 80s, and they had a 50-something-year-old son who was begging to get the father to a hospital because he had caught coronavirus. And DeSantis would not let those ships dock. And so, with this new Delta variant taking effect, and I read something this morning that the Delta variant is constantly mutating so that it is able to evade the power of the vaccine. If this happens on this ship, I'm wondering what he will do this time. If they get an explosive outbreak amongst the unvaccinated, because they have to let unvaccinated people on those ships.
Well,
So if
well,
you got the
it's,
unvaccinated, hmm?
no, I mean, I was just going to go there because in New York, it seems to be a situation, and again, it's amongst some restaurant owners now, and I'm trying to juxtapose what's happening here with what may be going on down there. You have to be tested before you go into any of these establishments. You have to show proof of vaccination. And if you haven't been vaccinated, certainly they're going to put a thermometer to your head to find out whether or not if you're cooking or something like that. Is there any kind of prerequisite, with regard to entering a ship or even Disney for that
No,
matter?
no. That's what DeSantis didn't want. And so the deal was is that these cruise lines have to accept. There's no vaccine passport, so there's no way for them to check who's vaccinated. As far as I know right now,
Right.
Disney, you don't you Disney was letting people in without the masks, but now with Disney, you have to wear a mask in their indoor uh, uh, properties, whether it's a moving property or transportation or a building. Now, Universal is making it mandatory for their staff. to wear a mask. But as it stands right now, the guests still don't have to wear a mask. But now Orange County, which is where Jerry Deming is the mayor, saw its highest number of new COVID cases either the day before yesterday, even against last year during
Wow.
the pandemic. They saw the highest cases on either Thursday or Wednesday of this week, and up 275%.
If you don't mind, just giving us a thumbnail sketch of Orange County. Is that northern Florida?
No, that's central. That's Central Florida. So that's Orlando, um, uh, and the
Kissimmee?
surrounding area.
Okay.
No,
And
Kissimmee is in Seminole County. That's southwest of Orlando. Pine Hills, Dr. Phillips, um, Titusville might not be Orange County. That's going towards Kennedy Space Center.
okay. Right, right.
Like uh, Canaveral.
Right. That
But,
on the
but
Atlant
but
on the
the
Atlantic
area around
side.
on the Atlantic side. But and I may be mistaken because that might also be part of Seminole County. But Orange County is Winter Haven, Ocoee, um, Orlando, and those areas right around Disney. When you start to get towards Universal, you start to move a little bit more towards Kissimmee, but not quite. But Kissimmee's
Gotcha.
not in Orange County. Kissimmee's in Seminole County. But the thing is that you know this. Let me tell you what's going to end up happening. I hope it doesn't. But there are going to be a lot of people with sick children.
Mm-hmm.
The One of the hospital presidents in Louisiana was talking about how, in Alabama, was talking about he's seeing children come in unprecedented numbers, and that's because the vaccine is not available to them, and this new Delta variant is so virulent. They said that against the first COVID-19, this variant spreads 50% higher. Meaning, if you catch it, you're going to spread it to 50% more people than if you had that first COVID challenge. So the thing is that I think what concerns me the most is that my wife and I both had the Pfizer vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're talking about, we may need to institute a third uh, uh,
Booster shot.
injection as to serve as a booster. They're not saying it yet. They keep saying that we're going to hold off on it right now, but it's something to be very, very concerned about. And we've had guests for the last 2 weeks, and now they're just saying that that this variant is really, really dangerous, even if you've been
Vaccinated.
vaccinated. The one good thing is that if you've been vaccinated, they don't think you'll get as sick. You might not even need to be hospitalized if you catch it. But if you don't, if you haven't been vaccinated, oh, they say it's just a matter of time before it finds you. And so I say this: I got family members, extended family members, who have decided they don't want to get vaccinated, which absolutely blows me away.
Mm-hmm.
But and then you see these programs like CBS where they're interviewing people in the hospital who have COVID, can't breathe, and they're saying, I
If
wish
only.
I am so angry with myself because I didn't follow the science. Well, it's a little too late for that. They've been telling you what other information do you need that more than 600,000 people have died?
Well, I tell you, Reggie. I mean, it's like a convoluted situation. You have the people in the right wing media, conservative media, Fox, and all the other outlets that preach one thing. It's only lately that that's sort of changed up a little bit, but they still, right now they're critical of the CDC with the latest ruling. And then you have social media. How do you police it with social media? Because there's some people, they see something, and even though it's not, been thoroughly vetted out, they just feel, well, oh, if he's saying it, then it must be true. And then, and one other thing before we go to our break, what I really found disturbing on the way in here this morning, I was listening to a news report. There's some study that's being done by scientists from City University of New York, I think the University of Missouri, but the program is the testing is being done here, where they go into the sewer system and they test different strains of the. There are so many different strains of
the wastewater.
The wastewater, right?
They test the wastewater, and they can tell from the wastewater how much COVID is in the area.
Right, and they say it's off the charts in some instances in terms of the different variants, and that's what's scary about this, I just hope it doesn't lead to a shutdown. But we're going to continue this in just a second. This is the Our World Media Network. I'm Wayne Gilman, and you're tuned to the Urban Algorithm. We'll be back right after this.
New York State's largest African American Chamber of Commerce, known as LIAACC, is now accepting new membership candidates. LIAACC has appeared on WABC, Here and Now, NBC's Positively Black, WLIW21, FIOS1, and in Long Island Business News. Membership consists of a variety of men and women of distinction who have been bestowed some of the most prestigious awards in the region. We host monthly membership meetings and signature events, including the Long Island African American Business Expo, Annual Health Fair, Ladies of LIAACC Annual Women's History Month program, and our annual Black History Month art exhibition. Join by simply logging on to our easy new membership sign-up portal at www.liaacc.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Hi, my name is Maya Delgado, and I am the brand ambassador of Kids Breakdown. And this is my demo video. Enjoy!
Download app on Google Play or App Store.
Create account. Choose avatar.
Enter Kids Breakdown Roadmap.
Roadmap consists of math, spelling, memorization, and matching mini-games.
After each minigame, personality and interest questions will appear to pinpoint which job may suit you best. After completion of all 8 minigames, you will be presented with jobs you may want to learn more about.
Read fun facts about all the different types of jobs within the law, science, and arts career.
Use your gold bricks to make your job environment fully complete.
Go back and play minigames to earn more bricks if needed. I hope you enjoyed the Kids Breakdown demo video. Make sure to download today and share with your friends. This platform will pave the way for kids who are just like me, the groundbreakers of tomorrow.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihavepprediabetes.org.
There is a road laid out for me.
Boxes everywhere. And this is gonna be Addie's room.
I am blind.
I think you're really gonna like it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I know this road is there for me. There is a long way.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
You down by the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
I got this.
I know His love is there for me.
Okay.
If I'm really free, take me down to the river and wash me.
I feel like mental health for me is a thing that doesn't really get talked about. It's harder for us to express our feelings because we're taught young to bottle them up. My name is Tobe Chukwudubem. I'm an Igbo boy from the southwest side of Houston, Texas, and I'm here to talk with Muhammad and Jordan about emotions, feelings, mental health. And, you know what I'm saying, we're just gonna let the spirit move.
I'm Jordan, I'm 12 years old.
I'm Muhammad. This is my stepson. I just call him my son.
As a father, it's your responsibility to lead your children into being mentally healthy, emotionally healthy.
Sometimes when I cry, I won't know how I'm feeling or why I'm crying.
I just grew up never feeling like it was okay to cry. And so he really forced me to have to reconnect with the kid that didn't get to cry.
That's beautiful. In the society that we were brought up in, it's very hard on little black boys. So you have to navigate feelings and emotions so the world don't get you.
We had to learn why kids burn, but we fly, even though they poison us down. We don't cry, we gon' take our piece of the pie.
On the Air America, excuse me. We're back on the Our World Media Network. You know, I need to go back in retirement, I guess. And this is the Urban Algorithm. I'm joined by my good friend, broadcasting executive and political pundit, Reggie Thomas. And we have only but a few minutes left, but I wanted to talk about what happened this past week. We discovered through some investigative reporting that Donald Trump really wanted to hold on to his position in power as president.
Yeah, he not only wanted to hold on to there's a book out by Carol Leonnig. I can't remember the other gentleman who's her colleague, Phil Rucker.
Right.
From the Washington Post. They got a new book out called I Alone Can Do
Fix This or something like that.
Effect.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I Alone Can Fix This, which is a statement that he made when he was running for office. And one of the things they asked him was his one regret as president. And he said that his one regret is that he hadn't called in the military to handle the Black Lives Matter protesters, even if that meant shooting them. And that spoke volumes to me. Out of all the things that he did wrong as the president, that was his one regret. And I always say that if you are an African American and you think that he's a suitable leader, you need to have your head examined unless you are not for your people. Because that means you also. That means you also, for you to think that you're black and somehow Donald Trump is going to give you a pass, he has no regard for anybody of color.
So, I mean, people like Kanye West and Candace Owens and Herman Cain, God rest his soul, they just couldn't figure out.
You know, it's unfortunate that happened to him, but he was the one that took the risk and decided he was going to go out there and support Trump at this rally after people said don't go to these super spreader events. And there were people who were traveling there with Herman Cain that didn't know that he had caught the virus.
I don't think he knew at the time until he was hospitalized, and that was it for him. He didn't last much longer. I think he was just recovering from a bout of cancer when they when he attended that event and all that. But I mean, it's just the thing that really got to me about Trump. Whenever he would come out, there were so many different things I could point to, and of course. I'm a disciple of Wayne Barrett's reporting, when he was at the Village Voice, another good journalist we lost. But he, had a walking anthology about Donald Trump's life here in New York. I can only imagine, because he died just before his administration started, but I can only imagine some of the stories that, would have come out if he had been still around. And the times that he would come up and talk about, well, I've done more than any other president for the black community. I've given money to the HBCUs and all that old talk that, he would come up with. And I'm just astounded that some people in our community don't seem to get it, and they still seem to tote the opposing line, and it's not in our best interest. And it just defies logic and common sense. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. And one other thought is they found out in the last couple of days that Trump had reached out to Jeffrey Rosen, who replaced Bill Barr, and wanted the Department of Justice to declare the election a fraud. And all they had to do was say it. And he said, leave the rest to me and a Republican congressman. And that just goes to show you that he knew that he had lost fair and square. But he, again, like you say, he wanted to hold on to power desperately, because his next move, if you work in federal government and you couldn't see that this man was planning a coup to try to take over the government, you don't belong there.
Right.
Because I don't work in federal government, and I knew it quite some time ago that he was going to do that. And I got into a very serious argument with a friend of mine who swore that couldn't happen in this country. And he called me back and apologized and said, "Hey, you called it right." And I said, I saw it, because when the man said right after he got into office that he wanted to be president for life, and then Michael Cohen says that if you ever hear Trump say anything, don't take it for granted, or don't think that he doesn't mean he's not serious about it.
And that's the sad part about it, that, people did not take the time to analyze. And again, I have to, at least take into consideration that he was very good at marketing himself as a television personality. And this country's elected media people before. We had Ronald Reagan. There are all sorts of folks who've come out of nowhere in media and have become superstars and have run the country. But it says a lot about the American. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger is another, and there, we could go down the line of the wannabes that want to do this. But, the thing is, it says a lot about the American intellect. It says a lot about what we know and what we look at and what we have taken for granted. And it is so important, because we're about to close here. We're coming up in the final minute. And it is so important that we support this effort to fight the voter suppression going on in parts of the country. Reggie Thomas, I want to thank you very much for being with us once again. We never seem to have enough time, and we will certainly have you back. And enjoy your weekend, and stay out of the line of fire as far as the COVID is concerned down there in the sunny state of Florida.
You better believe that. You better believe that. I got my mask right here somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a
lot.
lot.
All the best.
Have a good weekend.
You too. All right. You're
right.
listening to the Urban Algorithm on the Our World Media Network. I'll get my thoughts straight sooner or later. We'll be back with part 2 of our show for this weekend right after this.
New York State's largest African American Chamber of Commerce, known as LIAACC, is now accepting new membership candidates. LIAACC has appeared on WABC, Here and Now, NBC's Positively Black, WLIW21, FIOS1, and in Long Island Business News. Membership consists of a variety of men and women of distinction who have been bestowed some of the most prestigious awards in the region. We host monthly membership meetings and signature events, including the Long Island African American Business Expo, Annual Health Fair, Ladies of LIAACC Annual Women's History Month program and our annual Black History Month art exhibition. Join by simply logging on to our easy new membership sign-up portal at www.liaacc.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Hi, my name is Maya Delgado, and I am the brand ambassador of Kids Breakdown. And this is my demo video. Enjoy!
Download app on Google Play or App Store.
Create account.
Choose avatar.
Enter Kids Breakdown Roadmap.
Roadmap consists of math, spelling, memorization, and matching mini games.
After each minigame, personality and interest questions will appear to pinpoint which job may suit you best. After completion of all 8 minigames, you will be presented with jobs you may want to learn more about.
Read fun facts about all the different types of jobs within the law, science, and arts career.
Use your gold bricks to make your job environment fully complete.
Go back and play minigames to earn more bricks if needed. I hope you enjoyed the Kids Breakdown demo video. Make sure to download today and share with your friends. This platform will pave the way for kids who are just like me, the groundbreakers of tomorrow.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Hello, Dave. This is Joe, producer. How you doing? Can you hear us?
I don't hear anything.
David, can you hear us?
I hear.
Yes, Green Road. 1 sec.
You know, I should have asked him if he was gonna, because I thought he was gonna be in transit or something.
All right, I'm going to publish it now, so we're going to go live with your picture.
Okay.
You ready?
Well, is he there?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. Oh, okay. So you can
you-
hear me, or I?
I don't know, and I never did it like this. He will be able to.
Yeah.
Once I publish it, I don't know if he can hear you now. He looks like he has his microphone muted. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna publish it. Here we go.
Hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah. Here he is. All right. So you're gonna
How's
do
that,
the.
guys? Is that better?
Yeah, we're live
hear
right
me?
now. Yeah, we hear you clearly.
Thank you.
Good. All right. Greetings, everyone. Once again, this is the Urban Algorithm on the Our World Media Network here in New York. Beautiful Saturday afternoon. The last day of July here in 2020, and we're coming all the way from New York here. And our guest for the second part of our program is a good friend of ours, and he's been on with us before. He's coming all the way from, I believe, Delaware today. And his name is David Ross. Good buddy. He's the executive director of the Education First Golf Academy and Learning Center in Wilmington. Good afternoon, Dave. Can you hear us?
Good afternoon, guys. Yes, I can hear you very well. Thank you.
Good
Glad
to
be
hear.
here.
Yeah, and I'm honored to have you on back again. And I know that this has really been a very challenging year for you and your organization because, like everyone else, you've been affected by the pandemic. And I just figured, if anything, you could bring us up to speed as to what's been going on with you.
Well, as you mentioned, COVID has wreaked havoc throughout most programs throughout Delaware as well as the rest of the country. However, we've rebounded very well in 2021. We were able to take a lot of that downtime that we had to move forward with a lot of extra work to open our Golf Academy and Learning Center. So our downtime was well spent and very, very rewarding, I should say, being that we opened the center in May 2021.
And maybe you could give us a thumbnail sketch as to how your operation works once again. I mean, I know you have a number of young people involved, and according to the grapevine, the family grapevine, I understand that you have like a plethora. I won't even give out a figure, but you could tell us how many people are involved in that.
Well, we've got a number of members, clients, I refer to them as. We have over 100 kids that we service throughout Wilmington and Delaware County. We have a half a dozen interns serving as my swing coaches, and we have an office administrator who is a very, very talented young lady that really makes all this works for all of us. It makes it works easier for me. And that I don't have to be at the office to make decisions, to man things there. We're able to go out in the field because not only do we have the Golf Academy for kids for inclement weather and all year round, we spend a lot of time out in the field in recreation centers, city parks, because our golf program is unlike most other golf programs in that we take golf to neighborhoods where there is no golf that exists, kids that otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity. We have 7 city parks that we use, and we're out there almost daily, Monday through Thursday, and Friday is when we do all of our programming. So what we typically do over a 2 or 3 week period, we work with kids to improve the hand and eye coordination. After doing that, we take them to the driving range. From there, we take them out to the golf course to actually play 2, 3, 4 holes, depending upon whatever the play is that day. Offering kids the full experience in golf, not just going to a driving range hitting balls, but actually from A to Z, from the golf swing to scoring to etiquette to the golf course.
And that's so important because I guess there's a certain discipline that these kids need to learn early on, and I gather I've dealt with children before. In fact, when I got out of broadcasting and I had an opportunity to teach at a charter school, and I know sometimes it could be somewhat challenging trying to get people to stay still and really appreciate what it is that you're trying to offer them.
Well, you know what? Surprisingly, these kids, regardless of wherever we we tend to go. They are embracing this opportunity with open arms. I had a young kid, the youngest one that I have in the program right now, that's 8 years old. He walked up to
Wow.
me 2 weeks. He walked with me 2 weeks ago, and this kid said to me, "I just want to learn. I want to learn. I want to learn to play golf." And I tell you, it was. It took me back to when I was 8 years old, because that's when I first saw the golf swing. And I put a club in this kid's hand 2 weeks ago, and you should see this kid go at it. It's just a phenomenal, rewarding experience.
I can imagine, and I know I might have said this before, but when I was coming up, it was always looked upon as a very expensive sport to get into, and you only saw the big shots. I had a godfather who was a doctor. He's gone now, and he was very much into golf, and every time we would visit him, whether it was in Washington, D.C. or Philadelphia or wherever he was stationed, he was in the military, but he was a medical doctor. In fact, he ran Bethesda Naval Hospital at one point in his career. But, golfing was his thing.
Yeah.
But it was expensive. Clubs, shoes. So who cuts defrays the cost for all that?
Well, let me tell you, since we brought this program to the public's eye, the donations of clubs, balls, the USGA has donated tons and tons of golf balls, reading materials. Local donors have donated golf clubs. We've been fortunate enough to have grants that we've bought equipment. I've used some of my own money to buy equipment. So we make this game available regardless of a child's or family's ability to pay. It doesn't have anything to do with they just have to have the desire. And it's up to them as to how often they'd like to come to the Golf Academy and Learning Center. There's no limit. There's no limit on lessons. There's no limit on hours, on the number of hours they can participate. They just have to have the desire to want to do it.
And it's a unique organization as I look at it, because I can't think of anything comparable to that in New York. Was this copied somewhere else since? Or, I know you're the brainchild behind all this.
Well, Wayne, I took a look at what was going on. Took a look at what the PGA of America is doing. Took a look at what the First Tee of America is doing, and they are addressing golf where there are resources, where kids, that all they have to do, they have the funds to go to the First Tee. First of all, you got to have money to go there. You got to have transportation to get there. We service a client, a public that has none of those resources, but just have time available, kids in their program. We service those kids. We try and do all that we can, and again, at no cost. If a kid or a family has an ability to make a donation, we ask for that donation. But again, we're so fortunate. Most of our funding comes from that of donations of people that like the folks that are listening right now. It comes from my friends. It comes from family members. It comes from local government. Our building was donated to us, which is a phenomenal thing. And our program is only 3 years old, and we are. I'd like to say, Wayne, we're batting 1,000.
That's good to hear. I mean, it's very commendable. And as you mentioned that, I don't want to forget, because I promised I want to make sure that we get all your information out there. We have a worldwide audience on YouTube television and WGJSradio.com. And, people listening, if they want to give you a donation, how are they going about doing that at this point?
The best way to do that is to visit us on our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is Education, EDUCATION, first, the number 1 ST, golf. That's our Facebook page. Our phone number, it's area code 443-414-7000, and our website is Education First, FIRST, educationfirstgolf.com.
Right. And again, the name of the organization is the Education First Golf Academy and Learning Center, and you're based principally in Wilmington, Delaware.
That's right.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Not only does the program teach golf, but we teach soft skills, communication skills, the kinds of things that our kids need to make better decisions and to communicate and to make sure that they understand uh, what's been, uh, whatever the conversation is, whether it's a golf conversation, whether it's a school conversation, or whether it's a conversation with their parents, so they can better understand and communicate. These characteristics and are very, very important to us. We teach all of the things I think the kids need to round themselves out, to be better students, to be better children, just to be better citizens.
And, it's interesting because, there's such a demand for that now because you have a lot of pent up feelings as a result of the pandemic. A lot of young people don't quite understand. We've never been through this as adults before, at least in my lifetime or our lifetime. The last time we had a pandemic was 100 years ago. And the thing is, this is a learning curve for any young person to have to endure. So as we move forward now, it seems like we're making a little bit of progress in that we're out and social distancing. What are your responsibilities in the event that we're facing with this new variant, the Delta variant, that things may have to be confined again? Is there any plan B in terms of handling the organization the way it is right now with that on the horizon, or you haven't thought about it, or I'm assuming you have.
Yes, we have. We're in conversation with we have a doctor on staff that's volunteering her time that has been our mentor, if you would, through this pandemic. She's a local physician, and she works very hard to have set up a program following all the CDC suggestions that whether it's inside or outside, and we are talking about that very Delta variant right now. Should that continue to increase in our local area?
Right.
We don't nothing definitive as yet. We're just hoping it just doesn't shut us down.
So at the height of the pandemic last year, there was nothing you could do. I mean, I know a lot of the students were probably being taught it from home.
What we did, though, it was fortunate. We went from 171 students in 2019 down to about 60 in 2020. Much fewer involvement, but I realized then I was able to see more. I was able to see those fewer kids more often, which enhanced their ability to learn and to absorb all that we were teaching them, and the results was astounding. So again, COVID was a hindrance in a lot of ways, but on the other hand, it was a big ticket item for the kids that were in our program that did participate. They were able to be seen twice a week as opposed to once a week, and some 3 times a week. And the amount of ability that they showed as a result of those enhanced visits was phenomenal.
So it turned out to be an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Very interesting. So
that's the way we looked at it. Because a lot of times it's easy to pull the marbles in and go home. But if you just take a look at the hand that you've been dealt and play it the best you possibly can, you'd be surprised in what you can come out with.
Right. Is there room for expansion at this point, or is it too early to say?
I think it is. What I'm looking for and what we're trying to do right now is to find the interest of a Fortune 500 company or a large capital donor, if you would, someone to fully fund our program or to partner with us in a way that we can grow. Because what I want is to not only continue the program here, but take this program in other neighborhoods throughout the country that's needed to expose this game, because we're growing golf in its truest fashion. When I say that, we're going to places where there is no golf. We're exposing kids to golf and its intrinsic values, as well as looking at some of these kids to enroll in our program and to join our golf team next year.
Well, I look forward to hearing more about that. And we're going to continue in just a second here, but we're going to have to take a little break. This is the Our World Media Network, and you're tuned to the Urban Algorithm. I'm your host, Wayne Gilman. We'll be back right after this.
We'll be right back. But first, are you a small business owner looking for solutions? TMI and Partners is a business solution company offering operational, branding, and financial solution. For only $9.99 a month, your company will be assigned a personal business advisor. Well, that's right, only $9.99 per month, no contract, and you're on your way. Call TMI at 347-234-5304. That's 347-234-5304. Or visit their website at tmium.com. Tomorrow, the world will know your business. Is that it, guys? Hello? Did I do good?
New York State's largest African American Chamber of Commerce, known as LIAACC, is now accepting new membership candidates. LIAACC has appeared on WABC, Here and Now, NBC's Positively Black, WLIW21, FIOS1, and in Long Island Business News. Membership consists of a variety of men and women of distinction who have been bestowed some of the most prestigious awards in the region. We host monthly membership meetings and signature events, including the Long Island African American Business Expo, Annual Health Fair, Ladies of LIAACC Annual Women's History Month program, and our annual Black History Month art exhibition. Join by simply logging on to our easy new membership sign-up portal at www.liaacc.org.
Hi, this is attorney Stephen G. James. We've been practicing law at this law firm for over 30 years. I'm a former assistant prosecutor in Kings County and currently a defense attorney to serve you better. We work harder to serve you better. So just call us for the lawyers you can trust. 646-905-9000. 646-905-7001. We're located on Sutphin Boulevard, right near Hillside here in Jamaica, Queens, New York, for over 30 years serving the community. The law firm of Stephen G. James. Thank you.
Thank you. We're back once again on the Urban Algorithm. Wayne Gilman with you, 22 minutes past the hour on the Our World Media Network. Our special guest for this segment is none other than Mr. David Ross, the Executive Director of the Education First Golf Academy and Learning Center based in Wilmington, Delaware. Home of the incumbent president, I might add, as many of you probably know. And Dave, it's great to talk to you. You know, one thing that I'm always fascinated by is the story you tell me that really got you interested in playing the game golf. And I was wondering if I could trouble you to recount some of your experiences as a child doing that.
Well, as you well know, I'm originally from Augusta, Georgia, my hometown, the hometown of the Masters and one of the golf meccas of our country. I was about 7 or 8 years old and visiting my relatives in Augusta one summer, and my uncle put me on the handlebars of his bike and took me down to a playground, Robert Blunt Playground. However, it's not in existence right now, but we were there at Robert Blunt that late morning, early afternoon. He and his friend dropped some balls down on the ground and had this golf club and just started swinging it. The first time I ever saw the golf swing. I was so intrigued by that. I went back home after my summer vacation was over, back home to DC, and I taught myself the golf swing. I got a golf club and I had a few balls, and I would go out in the backyard after watching Shell's Wonderful World of Golf, which came on, I watched every Saturday. I was able to emulate those swings of the professionals that were playing. And by the time I was 10 years old, I was at the golf course playing golf on a regular basis. Now that is practically almost 60 years ago when I first saw that swing, and I have not stopped swinging a golf club. It's afforded me business opportunities. It's afforded me travel throughout our country, as well as other points around the world. And having experienced all of these wonderful things, it's my time and my point that I want to give back. And that's why I'm using my time, my resources, and my love of the game to teach those that are a lot less fortunate than those that are attending First Tee and some other country clubs and some of the other communities.
And that's really commendable. I mean, it's amazing. You see more and more people who are into it or trying to get into it. I'm always taken back when I hear conversations from people like Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan and others who have been playing the game and trying to get their game to be as competitive like with a Tiger Woods, and who's been basically the Pied Piper of the sports world with respect to golf. And I just think it's interesting that at least you're in a position to guide some of these young folks, because a lot of people our age and older never had that opportunity. And more importantly, I was just reading a couple of years ago, a place that I was familiar with in Maryland is now closed, the Glendale Golf Course. You're familiar with that? Yeah. I mean, I was surprised. That was like an institution.
Yeah, we played there on a regular basis. I was very fortunate that in my golf opportunities, as part of my golf story, I was the president of the Royal Golf Club of Washington, D.C., the oldest African-American men's golf club in the country. The founders of Lincoln Golf Course, which is our home golf course, but we've spent a lot of our competitive rounds at Glendale over the years. It's funny you should bring that up.
Yeah. I wonder, what is it that, I mean, I hope this is not a trend, because what people are doing now, they're trying to, I think, turn places like that into developments for speculators to come in and put up condos or office buildings. I think it's sad when it comes down to that, because people need a place to at least play the game. Exactly. Hopefully you're not encountering that in Wilmington.
No, well, I think out of the many golf courses that we have here, we've only had one to take that opportunity to sell their property and to develop it. But the ones that really lose out are the kids in that neighborhood, because a lot of those neighborhood kids that could typically go there to play golf would have to leave their neighborhood, and some may not have the ability to leave their neighborhood and the ability to go somewhere else to play. So those are the real losers when those kinds of things happen.
And I guess there's very little you could do about it, because usually half these deals are done quietly as private transactions. I know where I live, there was a place that I was just going to to chip balls on the afternoon. I'd love to see the bucolic environment of a golf course with all the greenery and the trees blowing and all that. It's very relaxing. And I stepped away from going there for about a year. I come back and I see houses going up, and where we used to chip the balls, it's just all torn up, and people are building homes and things of that nature. So I really think that that's something that has to be taken into consideration. There should be enough parkland left, that young people could enjoy, and adults, because I think it's very important. And one other thing I found out that was interesting the other day, that Congressman James Clyburn is an avid golfer. I think he was just recently anointed as some, I don't know even what term to give it, but I understand that he's gotten some award for being, very active in the golf world.
Well, I was president. I played at an event. I participated, I should say, in a golf event at our home golf course, again, Langston Golf Course in Washington, D.C., that's now under the leadership of National Links Trust, and James Clyburn was the honorary speaker, the honorary guest at the tournament. However, he wasn't able to show, but he is participating throughout the country in various events. Again, and I think that will help grow golf in communities like ours.
Right. Well, Dave, we are virtually out of time. I just want to thank you for taking a moment of your busy Saturday. It seems like you're busy wherever you are. I'm assuming it's outdoors. It doesn't look like the house. That you're actively involved in doing what it is that you do. And again, you'll be back again, and we'd like to have some of your kids come on the next time, and talk to us.
Well, the next time we do this, we're going to have the opportunity, and I was hoping we would do that today, but I lost my Wi-Fi, and we weren't able to use the Golf Academy, but that's what I had very planned to do, so you can say hello to a few of the kids. But next time we'll be up and running, okay?
Next time, I look forward to it. Dave Ross, the Executive Director of the Education First Golf Academy and Learning Center in Wilmington, Delaware. And that phone number and your email address once again, Dave, before you leave us.
The phone number is area code 443-414-7000. Our email address is ed1stgolf at AOL.com.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and weekend, and say hello to the cuz for me. And all right, we look forward to having you back and seeing you again. This is the Urban Algorithm on the Our World Media Network. That wraps and ties this edition of our program for this week. We thank you for viewing and listening, and hopefully giving us a thumbs up on comments. And we'll be back with you with a very special show next week. And enjoy. Thank you. Wayne Gilman here, over and out.